All right, good evening. The next slide is going to introduce you to the K-State online webinar about transfer issues. I'm Jennifer Fortmiller, and I'd like to welcome you tonight and thank you for attending this webinar. Joining me tonight, we have Dina Kaur, who's the Assistant Director of Transfer Admissions. We have Beth Stevie, who's a Direct Link Coordinator, and then also Sarah Kells, who's an admissions representative for Kansas State University Online. What we're going to cover tonight in this presentation, about 30 to 45 minutes, we're going to talk about application process, transfer process, and be able to present a lot of information about that transfer process at Kansas State University. We're going to allow about 10 to 15 minutes for questions. If you have questions during the presentation, feel free to put them in the chat box. Hopefully you can identify and find the chat box. It is located down there and kind of as a little test. Let's go ahead and have you interact if you don't mind. Name maybe your transfer institution, the state where you're coming from, and then also what your degree interest is in this program tonight. And that way we kind of get a feel for the audience and be able to address some questions to you as well. And as a reminder, I am going to be recording this particular webinar. We will be posting it online and we'll send you a recording of it as well. So it may take 7 to 10 business days, but we will be sending out a recording. So if you happen to miss something during the evening, we'll have that recording that you can go back to and refer to as well. Of course, at any point in time, if you have questions tonight, put them in the chat box. We'll be trying to address those as well. And if you have questions later on, feel free to contact us. And at the end of the presentation, we'll give you that email address, but it's online at ksu.edu. Anyway, without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Again, I'm Jennifer Fortmiller. I'm the admissions and enrollment coach for Kansas State University. Tonight, these are all the things that we're going to try to cover in that 30 to 45 minutes. We're going to define what a transfer student is, why you ought to pick K-State, and what office to connect if you do have questions about anything. We're going to talk about how to apply the different types of transfer credit that you might have. And there's a whole list of things that we'll be covering about transfer credit. We'll talk about admissions and enrollment, kind of the steps after you apply, get admitted, and then to enroll. We'll talk about the Direct Link partnership, which is a really cool partnership for students in the state of Kansas. We'll talk about services and offices that are available to help assist you throughout this whole process. And then we'll end with those important dates that you'll need to know before applying to Kansas State University. So the next slide, we're going to go ahead and launch a poll. Again, a little bit more interaction, if you don't mind filling out this poll. First question is, are you interested in attending K-State on campus, online, maybe doing some both, or haven't decided yet? Kind of give us a feel for what's going on. And then the next question on the next slide is, how many transfer institutions have you attended? We do find that a lot of transfer students bring in credit from at least one institution, maybe more than that. In fact, our research shows that an online student, 87% of all online students that are interested in an online program bring in transfer credit from somewhere else. We define a transfer student as somebody who's completed 24 credit hours or more from a regionally accredited college, and we'll talk about regionally accredited colleges in a little bit too. So anyway, just kind of wanted to get a feel for our transfer students and those attending tonight, if you kind of fit that norm of bringing in transfer credit from different colleges, and about how many that we'd be going through. Not uncommon to see 5 or more from different people. So that was kind of the next slide. We'll keep right on moving then, as it looks like we've got quite a bit of people that have answered those questions. So thank you for interacting with us with that transfer poll. So it does look like 100% of you are interested in online, which is perfect. That's kind of what we're going to be talking to you about tonight. Very, very common. And so I'm going to tell you, why would you want to transfer to Kansas State University online? Well, we think we've got 15 very unique undergraduate online programs. They do offer a flexible schedule so that you can earn a degree kind of on your own time, whether you have free time in the middle of the day or in the middle of the night. You're able to do your coursework and still be able to do other outside activities like work, working with family, a lot of those different things. It makes an online degree very convenient. It is kind of a learn on the go with mobile course access. You can be anywhere at a basketball game or at a soccer tournament or anywhere that you have extra free time and you can be working on your degree. And of course, online right now is kind of a popular choice because of COVID concerns. Thankfully, it seems like we're getting a handle on that, but it does make it more convenient for those that do have COVID concerns. On the next slide then, we'll be able to see some of the programs that are available from Kansas State University in the online format. We've got 15 of those particular programs, and I think they'll be clicking in here one at a time. If not, we'll kind of talk through them. Animal science is a very popular one. Applied business and technology. Maybe our screen isn't working. There they come in. Animal science and industry. Applied business and technology. This is one that can use a lot of credit that comes from a technical school or a trade school of that type. Normally that credit may not transfer to K-State very well, but in this particular circumstance it can. We've got a business administration degree that has 4 different options: business analytics, human resource management, marketing, operations and supply chain management. We have dietetics, we have early childhood education, educational studies, we've got elementary education also available. Food science and industry is one of our unique programs as well. Human development and family science. As we come down, we do have a brand new integrated computer science program, which has been a real popular choice and a real exciting field that people can go into. Next on the list, I think we've got journalism and mass communications, also a new online offering, which is exciting to have available. Nutrition and health is a great program if you're interested in becoming a nutritionist, a little bit different than a dietitian, but still in that health and nutrition related area. Personal financial planning is a great one if you're looking to help people understand the business aspect. We enjoy working with people as they understand finances. And then professional aviation is one that is offered from our Polytechnic campus in Salina, Kansas. And finally, we end with a social science degree that's an integrated degree that covers a lot of different areas and is a very broad-based degree. So a lot of offerings, and I appreciate you guys writing in the chat box too, kind of your thoughts on what degree. We can certainly work with you. Sarah and I work with students trying to find their best fit. If you have credit and kind of looking for what might be the best fit, or if you truly have a major picked out, we can work with you that way as well. So that kind of talks about our K-State online programs. At this point, I am going to turn the program over to Dina Core. Dina is an assistant director for transfer students, and so she's going to walk you through all the different steps to apply and how the transfer credit's going to be evaluated. So Dina, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. And thank you everyone for joining us this evening. So the application process to K-State is actually pretty simple. We do have an online application that is available all year round. So we have rolling admission at the university. And we do ask that when you apply that you choose one major. So a lot of students end up declaring a minor or maybe a double major or a dual degree, but at the time that you apply for admission, you'll just put down one primary major, and then that can change later if you decide to. The application is online and is available anytime. We do have a simple application fee, and that can be paid and is good for 1 year. So sometimes if students choose to enroll at one semester and then change their mind and they need to push it back a semester, that application fee can actually roll forward for 1 year. Part of the application process is to kind of determine how your classes will transfer. And so we have plenty of people on our team like Jennifer and myself who can help you with that process. So if you have courses that you're not quite sure how they transfer, we can definitely assist you with that throughout the process of applying. Scholarships is also an important part of the application process. We would want you to be admitted before you can be considered for scholarships, both online and on campus. So that's important to get the application in by those priority dates for scholarships, which we'll also be discussing. Financial aid, a lot of students would like to apply for financial aid and utilize federal or state funds in addition to scholarships to pay for their education. So we'll also be able to step you through the process of doing that as well. And then, of course, enrolling. So at K-State, we take enrollment very seriously and advising very seriously. So whether it's on campus in person or from a distance virtually, we want all of our students to feel very confident and very comfortable with the advising process. So every student will have an advisor who will help them with enrollment. So finding your major, we have 250 majors at K-State. Like Jennifer said, 15 of them are completely online, but we do have a lot of interests in a variety of fields. So one of the things that you'll want to determine when you do decide to transfer to K-State is when would be a good time for you to start your coursework with K-State. You'll want to talk about, is your program one that starts any semester, or is there a semester that's more convenient than others to start? And then plan ahead so that you don't miss out the deadlines that might, miss out on scholarships or the application deadline to be able to be admitted in time for starting that program. Sometimes it can take 2, 3, 4 weeks to get transcripts rounded up and sent to our office. So that's definitely important to plan ahead. So the application process, like I said, is very simple. It's basically submitting the application. You'll want to disclose all of the institutions that you've got credit from. So every institution that you have taken college credit from, you'll need to report that and approximately how many credit hours you have taken with them. And then each one of those transcripts will need to be requested from the individual institutions and sent directly to K-State. We do have several ways that you can send those transcripts to us. Electronic is obviously the quickest and easiest way to get those sent to us, but we still accept fax copies from the institutions as well as old-fashioned snail mail. There is the application fee I mentioned, $40 for domestic US students and $80 for international students. And like I mentioned, it can be carried forward. So if you happen to apply to K-State previously, within the last year, then you can use that fee going forward for 1 year. If you were a previous student of K-State, then you'll always have that application fee waived anytime that you decide to return to the university. We also award previous credit for other types of tests and military credit. So it would be important for you to contact the institution or the organization that offers those tests. So AP is common for high school students to have taken. CLEP is another one that's pretty common. If you have any of those scores in your back history, then you definitely want to make sure to have those sent directly to the university. We can't accept them from another school or another institution on their transcript. You would have to contact that organization directly and have them sent. Military transcripts are very important for you to have those sent as well. We do award a lot of military credit. And then for international students, international transcripts are sometimes hard to obtain, official original ones from those institutions. So that is the one instance where K-State will accept an unofficial copy that maybe is the one and only copy that a student may have. So they can make a photocopy of that, scan it in, email it to us, and we will use that as their official copy. But that's only for international institutions. So how do courses transfer to K-State? We actually have a couple of really nice tools online that we'll go through with you. But just as a general rule of thumb to remember, we do accept pretty well classes from regionally accredited institutions. So these would be public and private institutions that are regionally accredited. There are various accrediting bodies. There's some that specifically might be for massage therapy school or for an auto mechanic school or for a special technician type institution. Those are commonly nationally accredited or have different accrediting bodies, and those don't transfer to K-State or many universities very well. So you'll want to see if your institutions are regionally accredited, or if you're thinking of taking classes and then transferring them to K-State, you might want to check in to their regional accreditation. Earned C's or higher are typically the best grades that will be accepted into the university for transfer credit. There are many programs within the university that will not accept a D grade. So it just varies from program to program, and sometimes within the program, which classes would accept a D for transfer or would expect a C or higher. Some of our programs, it's a B or higher. So you'll want to look into that if you have any questions or concerns about that. The GPA itself does not transfer into K-State. So when you look at your K-State transcript, it will not have grades from your other institutions factored into your K-State GPA, but we do need to know what those grades are, and your GPA is used for admission and for scholarship purposes. For general admission to the university at 2.0, cumulative GPA is all that's required. But there are some degree programs that require a higher GPA to be admitted into their degree. So if you're in a situation where you're not at that point, we have a way, we have different pathways into those programs so that you can still be working on your K-State degree, but just in a different major, kind of as a holding place until you do have the necessary GPA to transfer into your major. And then there are some degrees that require specific courses as prerequisites. And sometimes those prerequisites are not offered online through K-State. And so we'll help you find an institution maybe near you or an online institution that we work well with, who we know transfers courses to us well. And we'll help you get some of those prereqs out of the way before you transfer into the program. Some of the transfer tools that we'll cover that we have online that you can access anytime that's convenient for you is our transfer pathways. Transfer pathways are more of a curriculum-based view, so you can look at a specific degree and what classes will transfer into that degree from a particular institution. So in the state of Kansas and many of our surrounding states, we have a lot of those pathways built for all of our majors for those institutions. If you happen to attend an institution that we don't have a pathway built for, just let us know and we will put one together for you. The transfer equivalency tool is more of a course by course search. So if you just wanted to see how one particular course transfers into K-State, you can use that tool. It's great to keep track of courses, how they transfer. You can print or email yourself a copy of the results. It also lists all the K-State 8 requirements, which is our general education core that we want all of our students to have before they graduate. So there's a lot of great things to utilize on those tools. Reverse transfer is something that all of our advisors usually bring up in conversation, and will remind you your first semester at K-State that if you are eligible for reverse transfer, then we'll inform you of how to sign up for that. Basically what that means is we do have students who will transfer from community colleges and not have obtained their associate's degree in that process. So they left before graduating from the community college. We really want to support students and the institutions they transfer from and encourage them to get that credential. We know life happens, and so on that way to getting a bachelor's degree, you might have to stop out or something might interrupt your education. But if you had reverse transferred some of your K-State credit back to your institution so that you could finish that associate's degree, then we'll help you do that. And that's a great opportunity that we offer our community college transfer students. And then Direct Link is a program we'll learn a little bit more about from Beth, but it is a dual advising program that will allow you to get that expert help from a program advisor or contact person at K-State while you're still attending your community college. So how do courses transfer? We have an equivalency guide online, like I mentioned, that will show you the equivalence. It will indicate whether it's an elective or it's an actual class with a name and title that's equivalent to the course you're transferring in. And then we also display what no transfer classes are. So there are some classes that are vocational or too technical, or maybe they're just courses that we don't have anything like at K-State. So those will be listed as no transfer courses. With the exception of our technology management degree, most no transfer courses will not be accepted into a degree program. We'll also review your military credit, and that will be put on your transcript. And it's important for you to request and submit a syllabus for review if you have courses that we have never evaluated before. We'll cover that as well. Okay, so on our equivalency tools, when you go to our equivalency website, you will see two options. You'll see one is the search by course, and that's where you can just pick one course, take a look at it, see how it transfers to the university. On that same equivalency tool there, where you can select your school, you can search more than one school at a time. So if you've got multiple institutions, you can do that easily. But as you're looking at the list of courses affiliated with your institution, if you see that there's some not listed, you can actually upload your syllabi for that course to that request a course evaluation link. So if you still have it, you're able to obtain it, then it's really easy to get that evaluation done before you transfer to K-State. We usually give our departments 2 weeks to make that evaluation. Sometimes they need a little extra nudge, so it might be up to 3 weeks, but we'll try to get that information back to you as soon as possible. Submitting a syllabus, these are the pieces that we need. We need to know for sure the name of the institution, the course name, the professor's name, the topics, the assignments are often very helpful. The grading scale is very important, as well as what textbooks were used. So a complete syllabus is necessary for us to do the review. A course description from a catalog just is not enough. So if you can't obtain the syllabus that you had from before, you can always contact the registrar or the department at the institution to see if they can get it for you. Other courses that other credit that will transfer, you can review that on our prior learning website as well. It will tell you how AP scores are evaluated and accepted into the university, as well as CLEP, Dante's, and IB. And then, like I mentioned, international transcripts, we can accept those as unofficial documents, and we'll also want them to be translated into English. We don't have any requirements on how they are translated into English. You don't have to use a specific company or agency. You can have them translated yourself or from someone that you trust to get those translated into English before submitting those to us. The other item on our transfer equivalency tool website is the pathways that I mentioned. And so this is where you can look at an entire major and see how those classes fall into that particular major. So scholarship and financial aid. So it's really important for you to make note of these deadlines. For online students, April 1st is the summer scholarship deadline. So if you're planning on starting in the summer, you'd want to have your application in by then. June 1 is the fall scholarship deadline, and then November 1st is for spring scholarship deadline for those wanting to start in January. And then, of course, October 1 is when the FAFSA is available for any year for you to submit. And because the FAFSA goes by prior year now, most people should have their taxes done and filed in time for them to submit the FAFSA. I do want to mention and take a second at this time to point out that we are in a pandemic and circumstances have been very unusual and maybe unplanned for a lot of students and families. So if your situation to where you filed your FAFSA and it was based on 2 years ago, and your situation has changed, maybe a job loss or something has happened in your family or your particular situation to where your income is not the same now as it was pre-pandemic, so to speak, then we do have a process for you to tell us what has happened and potentially get more financial aid to assist you with your K-State expenses. So definitely know that there is a process to let us know if something is different based on your financial situation recently. All right, so I think I get to turn it over to our next presenter. Let's see.
Should be direct link when you get to that slide.
Okay. So, okay, so I'm still on this slide. So if you're admitted, you will receive an admissions letter. We do love to send those old-fashioned letters in the mail. So you may get an email that says you've been admitted, but you'll get your letter in the mail later. You'll also want to start checking your K-State email. We will start sending information to your K-State webmail, and it's also a great way to start staying connected with your K-State community. You'll also receive a plan from your advisor about 2 weeks after being admitted that will tell you the process of being advised and how to enroll. The program that we use at K-State is called Cases. That's your student portal, and that's where you'll see where your schedule's located, how to add and drop classes, your financial aid, your advisor contact information, your billing statement. Everything is loaded into your student account called Cases. You'll also be able to run a DARS report. A DARS report is your degree audit. So that tells you how your classes transferred in and also what is left to be completed within your degree. So it's also something that will be very handy and important for you to use. You'll consult with your advisor on your class schedule. We want students to feel very comfortable in the classes that they're taking and that they're staying on track towards their degree completion. So you can consult with your advisor anytime you want, but at least once a semester. We would definitely encourage that. And then enroll in your classes. Okay, so other transfer student tips, of course, start early. So as soon as you've made that decision to come to K-State, we would love to start working with you. So it doesn't matter how early, we will want to keep track and help you with all your questions. Sending those transcripts, like I mentioned, and contacting all of those places to have things sent does take some time. So you'll want to plan ahead and get those taken care of as soon as you can. You'll want to review the transfer credit tools. So if you do have any questions about courses, and if you have courses that we have not evaluated, that'll give us time to review the syllabi if you can get those sent to us. And also stay in contact with us. That's our job as admissions representatives. We're here to be your help and your resource to everything at the university. So if we can't answer the question, we know who to contact to get the answer for you. So make sure you stay in touch with us. And then check your email. We will send a lot of information via email. So if you're not already one of those that checks your email every day on a daily basis, you might want to start that once you've applied to K-State, because we'll be sending you a lot of information, not only about deadlines, but upcoming events and things that might be helpful for you as a new incoming student to the university. All right, okay. I think this is where I get to turn it over to Beth to speak about Direct Link.
Yeah, thank you, Dina. As Jennifer briefly mentioned before, Direct Link is a program at K-State for Kansas community college students. And what it is, it's a dual advising program. So students who are at a Kansas community college and currently taking classes and who have at least 1 year remaining at that community college can sign up for Direct Link, and they will be paired with an advisor from K-State, and we'll include your community college advisor as well in that conversation. And so you will be able to talk to both advisors to get a great understanding of the process and going forward, what classes will be required of you at K-State. So you can see here some of the goals of the Direct Link program, but really we want to help you make that connection to K-State and get started talking to that individual so that you can stay on track for your degree. We also like to increase reverse transfer awareness, and Dina talked a little bit about what reverse transfer was, but we encourage all Direct Link students to participate in the reverse transfer program so they can get credit for that associate's degree. Of the online majors, there are 7 to 8 of them that are involved with the Direct Link program. Dina, could you, thank you. The benefits of the Direct Link program, obviously they're going to get an individualized plan for transfer working with both of your advisors. You'll know specifically what you're taking at the community college and then how that transfers to K-State and applies to your K-State degree. And in turn, you'll have a plan for what you're going to complete once you get to K-State. You'll have that direct interaction with a K-State advisor, and you'll also have a K-State admissions application fee waiver. Just a little bit about the process for signing up for Direct Link. The link is in the chat. So if you have the chat open, the link is there. You can click on that link and there's an apply button. You sign up for Direct Link. Once you sign up, you get a welcome letter. You also get an email talking that gives you a student agreement that you have to complete. Once those are complete, then the advisor connection is made, and I'll connect you to the advisor at K-State in your respective major. From there, every semester we do updates with each advisor to make sure that the advisor at K-State has your most recent information, classes you've taken, all of that, all of those opportunities you've had at the community college. But it also gives the community college advisor or the K-State advisor, sorry, some time to also update you for whatever reason, if there's degree changes that will happen before you get to K-State, they will stay on top of that. And that way you're ready to go when you get to K-State. I think Sarah is up.
Yep. Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah Kells, and I am one of the admission representatives with K-State Online. I work with actually all of our undergraduate degrees with the exception of nutrition and dietetics. So if you are interested in any of the other undergraduate degrees, I am here to help answer any questions that you might have about the program or the application process and really help you through that until you're admitted. And that's part of the recruitment, is that we are here to help answer any questions. Once you're admitted, then we'll be able to, as was said before, you'll work with an academic advisor there within the department to help work with you one-on-one throughout your time here at K-State. And so that's in that advising and student support services here. And also with that person, if there's anything else that you are concerned with, they are really great to point you in the right direction of some of our other services that we offer to online students. I know we have career services, military student services, library, counseling services. We have a lot of services for online students, well, on-campus students, but we also want to make sure our online students are aware that those are open to them as well. Also, when you're here, you are assigned to a financial aid advisor. So if you are filling out that FAFSA and have any questions about financial aid or need help with that, we can get you in contact with someone at our student financial assistance office. We also do have a technology department. If you create that EID for our K-State account, we are more than happy to help you with that. And that is what the IT help desk is for. You can call or email them with any questions, and they're happy to help. And also, I do see, we have a question coming in. They know that's military with that, with the GI Bill. We have a military services coordinator that can help you answer any questions about the GI Bill, tuition assistance, or anything else for our current, if you're active military, veteran, or even spouses. A lot of spouses come and work online as well. So some of the next steps, we really do thank you for attending this webinar today. If you are ready to apply, you can go to our website there and click how to apply and find the appropriate application and instructions that apply to you. We have, of course, our transfer, but also for international and military, there's some links there for you as well. Some important dates that you can see there. May 1st is our application deadline for our summer semester. So by that application deadline, we need to have all components of your application, and that includes the application fee, and also those transcripts and documents that Dina had mentioned. May 24th is when the summer semester begins. Definitely not a lot of time there, so that's why we definitely encourage you to start early. August 1st is the application deadline for the fall semester. So if you're looking at the fall, that is a date to keep in mind. And then August 23rd, which I believe is a Monday, is the first day of classes as well. As Jennifer had mentioned at the beginning, we will have a recording of this webinar available for you in about 7 business days. So look out for that in your email. And as a thank you, we really, for attending today, we are offering application fee waivers for the summer semester. So you can reach out to us at the email address. I believe it's probably on the next page, online at ksu.edu. You can even go to our website and find our email address there. and reach out to us if you're interested in that application fee waiver. Also, if you have any questions at the end of this that we weren't able to address, or if you thought of it afterward, we're more than happy to help you with that. And yeah, just reach out to us with any questions. All right, so any questions right now? There's our email address there, as you can see, but were there any questions that we could answer right now before we wrap up?
Sarah, there is one in the chat that if you would like to answer, you can, or I can answer, either way. But there is a student asking about the discounts for online courses due to the pandemic.
So right now, for the 2020-2021 school year, which ends with this current semester that we're in, we did offer a discount for that, I believe, on the online fees. Right now, we don't have the specific details on that tuition. That is decided by the Kansas Board of Regents, and that should be updated here sometime this summer, I believe. Dina, am I saying that right? Do you know?
That's right. Yep. The new
All right.
fees will be established in July. So yeah, we'll have more this summer to know.
Great.
Sarah, a couple other questions about the fall application waiver. Do they receive a fall application waiver if they attended tonight, or do they have to attend something else to have a fall application waiver?
No, I believe that we'll also offer it for the fall also. So if you are planning, definitely just email me about that. As long as I believe if you apply before the deadline, of course, August 1st, just let us know.
I might jump in and explain a couple of things too. The nutrition and health and dietetics field is my area. And Sarah works with the other majors, the other 13 that are available online. But kind of as a reminder, maybe you saw the little fine print there. We're not able to offer a application fee waiver for dietetic students. I apologize about that, but we're not at a point that program is able to offer those fee waivers. So all the other programs, though, you can certainly email us that you attended tonight, and we'll follow up with an application fee waiver, except for dietetics. So apologize for that. And then one other little nuance that kind of gets complicated is that the dietetics degree program really has a priority date a little bit earlier, just because of the competitive nature and some of the courses and whatnot, that if you can apply for the dietetics program earlier than that May 1 or August 1 deadline, that just puts you in a better position for working with an advisor and getting enrolled in classes. So kind of goes for everybody. The earlier you apply, the better off it'll be, but we can't accept applications for all the other degrees up until May 1 and August 1. So hopefully that kind of helps explain some of that.
Jennifer, there's another question in the chat if you're ready for it.
Okay.
Jacob is asking, how would things work if I attended K-State in person years ago, then attended a different university, but now wish to come back to K-State online?
Yes, we would love to have you come back to K-State online. If you're a former K-State student, you would not have to pay that application fee of $40. You've already paid it once, you've already taken classes. And very likely we'll have all of your records still in place. We may not have your recent transcripts from the other universities, so you'd want to apply and have those, anything taken since you left K-State, you'd want to send to K-State so that we can evaluate that, and then we'll be able to work out a plan as well for you. So yes, please come back to K-State. We'd love to have you. I'm looking in the other direction at the chat too. Anything else? Oh, I did notice somebody had asked about or made the comment that today is the day for the application for scholarships for summer semester. And yes, that is right. The scholarship program, it does take a little bit longer to administer. So you really can't apply at the last minute and expect to get a scholarship for that very same semester. So if you're looking to start the summer semester, today is the deadline to apply for the scholarships. If you're looking to start in the fall, then that deadline is going to be June 1. And then if you're look to also attend in the spring, that deadline's November 1. So we have 3 different application deadline dates for the Global Campus scholarships. And that's kind of neat that Global Campus does have scholarships available for online students. You only have to be enrolled in a minimum of 3 credit hours to be eligible for that scholarship. So it's kind of nice that you can be rewarded something for just taking 3 credit hours. A lot of scholarships that you may find other places may make you be full-time. But these particular Global Campus ones, you only have to be in a minimum of 3 hours. But yes, you do kind of need to apply, be admitted, and then apply for the scholarships a little bit ahead of the semester start date. So not an April Fool's joke, and sorry that this meeting ended up being on the very same day as the scholarship deadline for summer semester. But if you apply the summer semester, take some classes and apply again for the scholarships by June 1 for the fall semester.
A couple other questions, Jennifer. There's a student that has already applied for nutrition and health and wants to see if they can work with an advisor while they're waiting for their application.
Okay, so if you applied for nutrition and health and have all of your admissions work done and your transcripts in, it is about a 4 to 6 week process to get the official review of those transcripts. And it probably is best to wait for that official review before you start working with an advisor, but we'll be keeping an eye on that. If there's some reason, and we can certainly look up to make sure everything is in, maybe you reported an institution that you took classes and then you forgot to send that transcript. And if that's the case, then your application kind of is in standstill until that very last transcript comes in. So we can certainly take a look at that and visit with you. I can write this down and be in touch with you in the next week or so about that. I'm going on vacation starting right after this webinar. So it may be a few days before I can get in touch with you, but yes, certainly make sure that we kind of keep track of your application process and get you working with an advisor as soon as we can.
Another question, similar, but the student is interested in dietetics, and she's wondering if someone can work with her before she applies.
Yes, I'd be happy to work with you. Take a look at kind of what you've got going. Dina has given the tools for how we can evaluate your transcripts, so you kind of get an idea of how that previous credit's going to fit, but I can also help take a look and guide you in the right way. There may be some syllabi that you need to submit for official review too, as Dina suggested, so that we can find out how those courses will transfer. But again, I'd be happy to work with you as well, and we'll try to reach out to you after next week. Good questions.
And that are all. I was able to answer Charlotte's question about the GI Bill. So I think that's all of our questions so far.
Okay, anything else that you want to put in the chat box? Again, you can certainly email us any questions. Just send them to online@ksu.edu, and we'll be sure to get back in touch with you about that. Again, if you're in any other program besides dietetics, you can ask for that admissions application fee waiver for attending tonight, and we do greatly appreciate everybody attending. Want to thank the ladies for helping present all this information. It's always fun to work with you gals, and yeah, we're looking forward to working with all of you prospective students and helping make K-State a home. So I guess without any further ado, we will bid you good night. Have a great evening and a great weekend.
Thank you, everyone.